Hey, aloha. Welcome to Hoi Kaika again. Now, my special guest today goes by many names, many famous names. Some people call him Ella. Some people call him Homestead. You might see him as King Kamehameha in the Kamehameha Day Parade. But this gentleman actually is a friend of mine that I've known, I want to say since like intermediate too. We went to church together, went to the same high school. I'm classmates with his brother, so I knew him a little bit more, but then through him, I got to know this guy a lot more. And the funny thing is, I just told him earlier too, everywhere I go, every time I meet somebody that's from Hawaii, somehow Linden's name always gets pulled up in the conversation somehow. Like this is like everybody knows Linden. So I'm going to end it right there so my man can introduce himself and tell you a little bit more about himself. So another brother from Papakolea, ladies and gentlemen, my friend Linden Lee. Go ahead, brother. You can introduce yourself.
Thanks, Gav. Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you so much, Gav, for this platform. I think it's really, really awesome. I don't think I've done one like this, but as you may already know, Brad, I think it always feels good to just talk. Yeah, talk. But thank you. But anyway, just a really, really brief introduction. My name is Linden Leon Q Kai Lee. And just something real quick about my name. I think what's funny is growing up, so we're Hawaiian Chinese. We're a little more than half Hawaiian and the rest is Chinese, just like you, Gav. Yeah, we got the best of both worlds. But I think my Chinese side wasn't, and we love our parents, but I feel like it wasn't put at the forefront or it wasn't emphasized for us. So to be completely honest, when I would say my full name, especially my Chinese name, which was Leon Q, named after my, I believe it's one of our great grandfathers. I was really ashamed. I was ashamed because it didn't sound like a cool Chinese name to me. So I was always ashamed. But anyway, that changed, of course. But yep, that's my full name. And originally born in Hola, of course. We were born in Hola till I was 5. Dad got Homestead up in Papakolea, and from 1985 till until of course we left the house. We were born and raised up in Papakolea, right above you folks, Gav, on Aniku. So I'm yes, we grew up on the homestead, but I am very much I consider myself a townie, a city boy. So it's really weird because we moved here. I've been married to my wife for 13 years this year. Her name is Joanna. Love her so much. We have 2 beautiful kids. They're just like us. They're in no way perfect. They give us headaches, but they still hug and kiss us. So we love them. I love being a dad, love being a husband. My oldest is Anella. She's 13. And then my son Ethan is 10. So we got one each. Yeah. And currently working as a flight attendant at Hawaiian Airlines. It'll be 7 years this May. I've been in the classroom as an in-flight instructor for the last 3 years. So I kind of stepped into that role. I was offered it, and I love to teach. I love to facilitate. I love to instruct, but it's a learning opportunity for me as well. So, but yeah, we're here on the Big Island. We actually moved here to the east side of the Big Island, Hilo. So for those of you who are familiar with the Big Island, we're on Hilo side, east side, and we're kind of the southern part as you're going towards Puna. So that's where we're at. We're in a subdivision called Ainaloa in the Puna district, and very different from living on Oahu, and in a good way. Very wide open, and yeah, we've been loving it. Big Island's not for everybody, but we've been loving it.
Well, I was cracking up when you mentioned about being a townie. It's a weird situation, right? Because we grew up Homestead, but it's right in the middle of town. So in kind of a way, we get the best of both worlds, I thought.
Yeah.
Country right in the middle of the city.
Yeah, we sound country, but we no fish, we no hunt. So when I got here to the Big Island, oh man, I really had to just
hunting now.
Educate myself. Not hunting, but connected with some members over here who been doing it for years. So still learning. Yeah, learning. Starting off with compound bow hunting. So that's what I'm practicing right now. And then trying to dabble in diving, trying to reconnect with our roots.
That's
But no,
cool.
nothing crazy. But that's the beauty of the Big Island. Yes, the terrain on the Big Island is so dynamic. Yeah, I mean, one moment you have Mauna Loa erupting, and then a couple weeks later you have snow on both mountains. You know, Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa, and then now Kilauea is erupting. You know, so
That's
yeah,
nice.
very dynamic island, man.
You guys had hail recently too, huh? Did you guys hail
Oh
for?
yeah. So one of my friends, so I believe it was more um anybody who is living at the base of Mauna Loa. So like if you're looking at Hawaii Island and you go south and as you're coming back up towards Kona, right there at the base of Mauna Loa, oh yeah, it was hailing. So I have a friend who actually grew up near Sheridan Park in town. He lives up there with his family, and yeah, man, it's crazy to see that, man.
You know, I had a question about your job too. So you talk about facilitating. Personally, I notice some of the best facilitators are folks who are in entertainment. I've seen it a lot. Like, you know, just so used to being in front of a crowd, you can read the audience, you can kind of figure out ways to connect them and how to make connections with you know, attention getters and the content you're talking about. What is it about facilitating that you like? What do you like it so much?
I think that was it, you know. So first of all, it was I came into the training department 3 years ago. So that means I only was flying for 4 years. And as a very junior flight attendant to step into an instructing role, it for some it can be very difficult because you might think that higher seniorities are like, oh, where this guy came from, you know, he never put in his years, you know, what makes him special, you know. But to me, I didn't think of it as I need I don't my boss, I know my boss didn't hire me for my intellect. I'm a dummy. I'm a waitlist Kamehameha. So Adam, my little
Stop
brother,
it,
got in
man.
top 2%. My sister got in probably like top 20%, and then me, waitlist. And then my other siblings just kept going downhill from there. No, sorry, Holland Night. No, just kidding. We had to have two that at least went to Roosevelt to
Hey,
represent that. No, but I really believe for me, I knew that I was gonna be a junior flight attendant teaching 30, 40, 50 year. We have flight attendants that have been there since, you know, since the 80s, you know. They're pulling almost 50 years, these guys. So but for me, it didn't, like you said, you know, we come from an entertainment background, we're used to it. For me, it didn't scare me. Because my boss hired me. I hope he hired me for my soft skills, yeah. And I knew that if I could bring that, that's all you really need, because we're not telling them anything new. We're just reiterating it every year to them, yeah. When they recertify. So yeah, I thought it was people always ask me, why did you become a trainer? I said, one, it's something I thought I could do well, but two, it kind of married both of two things that I hope are my strengths. One was I was already emceeing at Paradise Kuvlua. I did that for 10 years. So, you know, I was in front of hundreds to thousands of people, you know, in one night, very comfortable, and felt very, you know, felt very comfortable as an MC. And then I also, at my previous job, so I came from the hotel and food and beverage side. I was doing that for about 10 years. And I was in training and development on that side too. So I basically took the training and development from the hotel food and beverage side, married it with the MC side, and I thought it was just perfect. Yeah, it felt like a good, perfect fit.
yeah, bro. You definitely got the soft skills, the people skills, the EQ, the emotional quotient. Like a lot of times, like, bro, don't try to be humble. I know you said, you know, you dummy or whatever. I know you're not, bro. But no, but seriously though, um, like I mentioned this before, I think in earlier episodes, but if you ever talk to people who train about like leadership or people getting higher positions, they always talk about how important that EQ is. And a lot of the guys that get put in those leadership positions are the ones that have a higher EQ. Not saying IQ is not important, but usually to climb up that ladder and be, you know, executive, VP like that, brah, that's all soft skills. That's all EQ, because you got to be able to relate to people and be charismatic and stuff. And you got that. You definitely got that. You cannot be an MC for 10 years, bro, at Paradise Cove, one of the biggest luau's in the island.
You too, bro. You good at that too. You get that natural ability. Yeah.
I'm behind the scenes now. I'm the graphic e-learning developer, computer guy now making behind the scenes. I leave
Yeah,
the front end, the front stage stuff to the good-looking people like you. So
yeah, right. Yeah, but no, but yeah, that's so cool. That is so cool that you do that because you are still very comfortable in front of people, but um, you know, your job, your trade has you mostly behind the computer most of the times. Yeah. Yeah.
that's hiding. That's why.
Yeah, right.
Actually, because I already know about you and some of the jobs that you have. You mind mentioning your career path, like all the different types of industries you work in and jobs that you had?
Yeah, no. I mainly stayed in. So um I served a full-time mission in 1999. So I went to BYU Hawaii for a year. And then yeah. At first it was more out of, well, everybody's going, I guess I gotta go. You know what I mean? But of course, as you know, that changes when you're out there, yeah. And um I just wanted to mention that, but my mission, I think about my mission every day only because I'm around Filipinos so much, yeah. And I think I connected, the way I connected with them, I knew even before I left the Philippines, I was like, but I'm never gonna lose this connection. And I also don't want to lose the the culture. Yeah. So for me, it was really important, especially with the language, to kind of hold on to it. Even when I fell away from the church, for a little bit. Thank God, found my way back. But even when I fell away, I still made it a point to hold on to the language. So to this day, luckily, bro, luckily, I'm so lucky. I can still speak, I can read, I can write. So, but just like you, bro, I remember too, because I remember when you came home from Japan, I think if nobody saw your face, but they heard you around the corner, but I think they would think you was just somebody from Japan. Because I remember hearing you speak, and I was like, "Oh, Gav got that gab, bro." But you know what I mean, though, yeah. Like when you're in companionships, you notice some people are just trying to talk fast, yeah. Like they don't get the diction down, yeah. They just like, like see how fast I can talk, Doesn't matter how I pronounce it. But luckily, I had a trainer. My first trainer was Filipino, and that's what I asked him. I said, and he spoke perfect English. He was an older guy. He just barely missed that cutoff to go because he was getting to that older age. Little Filipino guy. And I told him, I said, I really want to learn. I really want to learn. Can you just talk to me in Filipino? And he said, oh yeah, no problem. We can do that. And from that day on, he made me do everything. Yep. So the bishop, so when we're at church, the bishop would be like, oh, and we're now going to hear from Elder Lee. I was like, oh. And then my companion, he would always just thumbs up me and wink at me like this. And then we'd be in class. He would make me teach the gospel principles class, Well, he would volunteer me for everything, man. But that's how I learned. That's how I learned. But anyway, yep. So I came home. From my mission. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it's a super big part of, I think, who I became, super big part. I have a very fond love, just as I know you probably do for, Japanese people. I have a very fond love for the Filipinos. But after that, I came home, and I pretty much stayed in the hospitality industry till about 2015. Yeah. So just real low level stuff, valet, um, restaurants, hotel. And then most recently, right before I got into Hawaiian, I was at Trump International Hotel Waikiki. So I was there since they opened. So I was part of the opening team in 2009, and I was there for 7 years, and started off in room service, of course. Moved up to a supervisory position. And then right before I left, I stepped into a restaurant manager role. So, and that was really interesting, Gav, because I've worked at other hotels. I've worked for Hilton, I've worked for other hotels, but I've never worked for a hotel um, who had a goal. And the goal for our hotel was, they wanted to become the premier luxury brand, throughout the world. Yeah, let alone Hawaii. So we actually entered, and you have to register for it. But we entered the Forbes 5-star program. So basically, and it's it's pretty prestigious when it comes to hotels, and that's the program we entered. You have to go through several live tests from several secret shoppers throughout the year, and you have to pass everyone. I think with at least a 95% or better. It has to be almost perfect. So you're talking restaurants, front desk check-in, concierge. So yeah, it was super fun because I worked with some amazing professionals, but it was extremely stressful, super stressful, but fun. But yeah, long story short, that's pretty much my background before becoming a flight attendant. And but luckily, so to this day, Trump International Hotel Waikiki is still the only 5-star hotel on the island. I think Maui has some, maybe Kauai, but they've been able to hold their 5-star, I think, since 2000. I want to say 2015 or 14. So they've been able to maintain that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much my background.
You mind talking a little bit about your music career? Please, brother, please.
Yeah, I meant to ask you this, bro. Because I follow you too, and you know us. I think we all kind of grew up around the same kind of music, right? I mean, we're local boys. We love local. We're always gonna love local music, right? But I feel like there's a genre that speaks more directly to everybody, right? And for us, it's hip hop. You know, like kind of like what Black Thought said from the Roots, right? It was like a forced marriage. It was predetermined. Yeah, there was nothing we could do about it, right? We was gonna be part of it, whether we wanted to or not. Yeah. But yeah, music's always been in our house, in our home. It's funny. Dad was very traditional Hawaiian music, Makaha Sons, Ho'okena, and then mom listened to a lot of Creedence Clearwater, Sade, so yeah, a lot of different genres. And then, my older brother, Adam, who's not only one of your best friends and classmates, my older brother, Adam, he gravitated towards what was going on the East Coast. Yeah. With that whole hip hop movement. So, and he brought it into the home, and that was basically it, from UMTV Raps to making mixtapes using Dad's VHS player hooked up to the tape player, and it kind of went from there. So I think the first time I knew I wanted to start writing my own music or try to write my own music was when when my brother then performed at Brown Bags. Yeah, for those of you guys who are from Hawaii, you guys know what Brown Bags is. Yeah, Brown Bags was like our Star Search for teenagers. I don't know. People are like, "What is Star Search?" No, I'm just joking. But yeah, my brother and his classmates, you guys' classmates, they performed at the auditorium, and man, I remember being in the audience. I had to go to practice, but I really wanted to watch. So I was watching, and man, I remember that was the first time I think live I saw 5 different MCs. I think Aaron Ichimura was in the group too. I remember seeing 5 or 4 different MCs, just different styles, different delivery. And man, I remember after that, man, I think I pulled out my first notebook and started writing. So yeah, and that was pretty much it, bro. And then yeah, bro, I got lucky when I came home from my mission. My really good childhood friend that I grew up with, many of you know him. His name is Crichton Uwale. He reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, I'm recording music with some of these guys. Maybe you should come check it out." And that kind of, I guess that was the seed. And from there, we started just writing. We started just meeting up, writing, and just brainstorming. We're like, I think we could. I mean, we don't have to go big, but I think we got to get our music out there. So we started doing small live shows here and there. Anna Bananas, I think, was probably our first one. We were performing at like church functions, but I think not our big breakout, but I think the one that kind of solidified that, our group, which was called Soul Pacific, was there, was kind of like we're here, in the Hawaii hip hop scene was, there was a Southern California group called the Visionaries. I still love their music, bro. Underground hip hop group. They were really good friends with a promoter and a videographer here in Hawaii named Joe Libby. So I think Joe Libby was the one that brought them down. Joe Libby used to do like bodyboarding videos and stuff like that, but he used to always use hip hop in his videos. Anyway, I believe it was him and another promoter that brought the Visionaries down. And if it wasn't for Kavit Omo, who's also your classmate, if it wasn't for Kavit, we never would have made that bill. So it was at a place called Studio One in downtown. I think it used to be the old Liberty House. It used to be the old Liberty House downtown. They turned it into a art studio, a hip hop venue. Anyway, the Visionaries came. Kavit was, oh no, you know what, Gav? I'm getting the story messed up. Cav did give us opportunities, but that one actually was our other friend who was friends with the videographer. Oh my gosh, his name is Matt Tapia. Sorry. Yeah, his name is Matt Tapia. Matt, mahalo. Matt was the one that was like, hey, Crichton and Linden are my friends. Can we just get them on for like 1 or 2 songs? And the guy was like, oh yeah, shoots. So we ended up performing before one of the guys who were kind of headlining, the local guys. And man, the response was so cool. And I tell you why, brother. The response was cool because of our DJ. We were blessed to connect with my really good friend Sean. He goes by DJ Mad. He was actually doing background scratching and DJing and mixing for BET. Before BET started doing more ballads, yeah. So he got introduced to us by our really good friend Dave, and by the rest was history. You know, we found out that we had mutual family friends. He was on Loco Brada. And when you see our DJ, Sean, I mean, he just looked like one out of Loco Brada, you know, carpenter, construction worker, daddy. But man, when this guy would touch a record, my goodness, man, like, oh, it's crazy, man. He's so talented, so talented. Anyway, I think that made the difference that night. That's where it was like, we can do this, was because we had somebody scratching and we had somebody mixing during our performance, just the way hip hop originated from. Yeah. With the MC, with the MCs taking the back burner and, you know, showcasing the DJ. That's what we wanted. You know, we wanted to take it back to the roots. And bro, yeah, Sean, if we didn't have Sean, I mean, we'd just be 2 MCs rapping, you know what I mean? But he made us a hip hop group. Yeah, and then, bro, yeah, we went on to just perform a bunch of local shows. We opened up for mainly just like underground hip hop artists. There's a really talented hip hop group from out of Denver, Colorado called the Percussions. We were able to open up for them. Super talented.
Love the Percussions, bro.
Yeah, bro. Whew. So we got to open up for them. Blue Scholars came down. They're a Seattle-based hip hop group, a MC DJ duo. Bro, we got to open up for Blue Scholars, but that was really cool because man, their music is Seattle hip hop is it's on another level, bro. But yeah, bro, it was really cool times, bro. It was really cool, like just being on the same flyer as some of these people. And then to this day, I'm blessed to still be able to collaborate, not necessarily me and Crichton, but Crichton went off to. And bro, more power to him and our other friend Gerard. They went to form a group called Sons of Wakea. So I had a chance to collaborate with him on their album, and then on Crichton's solo album, Island Air. So yeah, bro. Still, the music will always be there. Always. Never gonna leave.
It's the Soul Pacific, bro. I still remember.
Hey, you know what? To this day, that seems so corny, but man, anything to get a reaction from the crowd. And I think that's what we did pretty good is
yeah.
And Crichton I love Crichton because I'm the kind, I'm like, oh, we'll do whatever. I don't care. You make the set list, you know. But Crichton is very musically, you know, in tune, you know. Yeah. I mean, from the breaks, from the pauses to when we come together to say something, you know, to just everything. And so he was the orchestrator. Every time we had a show, he was the orchestrator. And I just kind of sat back and I was like, yep, bro, sounds good. Yep. But yeah, he was the one. When we would do crowd participation, he was like, bro, I think we should do this. And I was like, shoots. And bro, it was always hot.
Wow. Very strategic, yeah.
Very, bro. And he comes from a musician family, so I think that was it. His ear is just, and of course, one of the best wedding DJs to this day, still very busy and very active. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
bro.
You know what's funny? When I was at Paradise Cove for that short while, I was talking with Mike Ahina and Zach Hanna, and they didn't know that you did that. They didn't know you was on Hip Hop MC. They were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, check this out." And I showed them the video. I forget the title, but it's the one. It starts off in the ocean, and then Crichton is on, then you're on, and then that one Popolo guy at the end is on after.
Yes. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I can't remember the title.
Horde Riders Anthem.
Yeah. That's it. That
Yeah.
one. I showed him that one, and it was like, oh,
So cool, bro.
with a blue and green collide. It was like, oh, what?
Bro, that was so cool because the guy that directed that, but he directs some, and I know Crichton dished out some dollars for that one, but yeah, that guy directed some really high level videos. So, bro, when you look at the quality of the video, it's actually really shot really well, bro. And that one was cool because he was like, "Where you guys like shoot? Where you guys like go?" And I was like, "Wow, we're going back to the roots." You know what I mean? So we did some shots up in Papakolea. I don't think those made it, which was absolutely fine. But I was like, bro, I like shoot at my home break. I like shoot at Kiwalos, I like shooting. We're going to shoot in Cavit's store because Cavit gave so much to us, light sleepers. So yeah, that was cool. That was like the first time we actually had, not the first time, but it was cool to see a director kind of create and also bring out something in us that we didn't think we had to. Yeah.
As you can see, I'm still a fan, bro. I still watch the stuff on YouTube, all the videos. I even show my kids, and they're like, "You see that guy? That's Daddy's friend, that guy."
I'm gonna be honest too. About 400 views from each is me.
You replay them over and over again.
I don't know, bro. Do you find yourself doing that? Is that weird? But I do, bro. And I think it's only because I'm critiquing myself.
Critiquing yourself. You evaluating yourself. What you could have done better. Yeah,
I do, bro. I keep listening to it, and I'm like, man, I could have done this, or man, maybe I shouldn't have said this, or yeah.
Even me too. All honesty, the whole Ikaika videos, bro. All of these. When I'm washing dishes, I'm always watching the shows because I'm like, oh, why I said that for? Oh, it sounds kind of weird, bro. And maybe I shouldn't say that next time. I'm always doing that. Anyway, enough about me. It's all about you. Hey, if you were to give any type of advice to brothers out there, fellow Kanaka that may be struggling with stuff in life. I mean, with all the success and accomplishments and the things you've been able to do, I mean, that's so awesome, bro. What kind of advice would you share with somebody that wants to be like that?
Man, that's a heavy one. I think there's all kind, right? There's all kind, but I think we were raised in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We're Latter-day Saints. We're Christians, basically. We're Christians, right? But I think putting I think when we put Heavenly Father in our life first and those things, I think everything falls into place. Yeah. Whether it's financial, whether it's your physical well-being, your mental well-being, I think all of that stuff does fall into place. And I know that's easier said than done because I know we all struggle with finances, with our relationships. But, I told the kids something the other day. I said, Heavenly Father didn't mean for this life to be comfortable. He didn't mean for this life to be simple. So I think, I think we're always going to face challenges, but I think when we do it with, at least one eye single to Heavenly Father, I think everything will fall into place. Having said that, yes, you do have to have faith, but I also know that you got to put in the work, right? You have to put in the work. And the beautiful thing about that statement is, I'm talking financially, because finances, although they're not, we're not defined by our finances. Unfortunately, we live in a society or a country where you have to pay your taxes, right? We got to pay bills. So having said that, what's the nice thing is anyone can make as much money as they want. They can. We can make as little as we want. We can have as little as we want, or we can have as much as we want. Yeah. So I think once we get that vision, wow, I think good. Put God first, put in the work. Yep. And just remember that things not supposed to be comfortable. Things are not supposed to be easy. So I think the more we do things that put us in uncomfortable positions, or the more we do things that are difficult, it can only get better. Just like jujitsu, people think that, or martial arts, they think, oh yeah, I'm really good at this. I'm really good at this. So this is my bread and butter. Okay, but shouldn't you really be putting yourself in a position where you're not good at something and then try to see if you can get out of it? It's kind of like that. So yeah.
You're enjoying yourself in that. Once in a while, I'll see videos and photos of you doing jiu-jitsu stuff. How long have you been doing that now? How many years?
Not very long. It was out of desperation. I put the kids in it first, and then they came home, and I was like, this is not daddy's. Daddy never did this. I don't know how I can help you folks. And it was more out of a necessity to help the kids. And like all things that we pick up, that our kids pick up, we end up getting hooked to it, and then we become slaves to it. But yeah, so I started in 2000. I think it was 2016. So, but real basic. I just wanted to learn fundamentals. So the kids were already at UFC, and they had such a good family plan. There's a lot of places that you can learn. Everybody is different, but for me it worked out because the kids were there. So I got my blue belt under.
Too good, bro.
I got my blue belt under Leandro Niza, so he falls under the Nova União family that came from Brazil. But got my blue belt, and then boom, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So I hadn't been in a gym for about a year and a half, and then slowly getting back to it. Now that we're back on the Big Island, slowly looking for a place where we can lay down roots. But yeah, but I love it. I love watching videos. I love playing with the kids, playing jujitsu with the kids. And I suck at it, but it's something that I enjoy. It's something that I enjoy. And I think it's great for my mental health.
Yeah.
I think I was in the best shape when I was doing it regularly, like 4 times a week, which is kind of excessive, but mahalo to my wife for letting me do that. But yeah, good for the mental and physical for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, I definitely try to do some kind of form of exercise too. But I had a lot of friends suggesting to me to get in jiu-jitsu as well. Like,
do it, Gav. Do it, bro.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. One time, well, actually, not one, several times. My cousin Nolan Tong, the one that was on earlier, the first episode. So he and I in college, we would go wrestle, and me, I just react, right. So one time he came behind me, and automatic, I just went elbow. I just went to an elbow in the back. He's like, "Bro, you cannot do that in wrestling." He's like, "Dude, that's what I told you. I cannot do grappling because my body just go and react." That's why, in a way, I'm kind of nervous go jiu-jitsu because I'm like, I gotta like retrain my brain.
Nah, that's okay. Hey, just do what I did the first year, like this. Oh, sorry. Okay, keep going.
For real, a lot of accidents, huh?
No. But bro, there are some people, bro, when they come from like a boxing or Muay Thai background, yeah, bro, they gotta. Yep, it's reactive, yeah.
Right.
That's your Chinese Wing Chun side, bro.
Willard, I know Willard. He's like, what? You did judo? You did boxing? I'm like, Frank, you're not supposed to be telling everybody all that kind of stuff. We're gonna think I'm all. I don't know. I am not. I was elementary school when I took, and I don't know, man.
Oh man,
bro.
Yeah, bro. So cool. Like very like although I've been out of an actual school or spot, I'm trying to find my way back to do it, to do it a little more often, because I'm gonna be completely honest, that is and I know I'm kind of biased when I say this, because there's so much stuff that you can do to get in shape, but that is the most toughest workout ever. Even wrestlers, bro, when we would watch wrestlers in high school, I was like, why would you guys want to do that? It's so crazy, you guys putting your body through that. That's dumb. Until I actually went to a wrestling match, and then when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I was like, wow, bro, that it would have been very useful if I had learned something like wrestling now. You know what I mean?